Hello, welcome back to 999. This episode and the one following it are going to be a little bit different from usual since I have completed basically all of the rooms so far. I can't show you right now because I'm in a choice, but I did find a nice flow chart that will tell me how to get to the rest of the endings. And the first one I'm doing, it says it's not worth it, but I'm doing it anyway. So basically what will be happening from now on is I'm going to play, I will skip through any red text, and if anything new happens, then I will bring you back. Otherwise, it's just going to be a straight shot to all the endings. Alright, got it? Alright, let's go then. Okay, so as you can see, I went through room 4 in this one, and for the first time, I'm going to choose, hey, come on. It's not like that.
Hey, come on. It's not like that.
I guess you haven't changed at all, Jumpy.
Okay. Junpei did his best act as though he didn't care. His best wasn't very good. She giggled.
By the way, Jumpy.
Hmm?
How did you end up here?
I think this might be it. Yep. Alright, well that's it for now. I'll be back when there's anything else new, which probably won't be for a little while still. Okay. I had this conversation, and I guess I chose I do believe in curses this time, and I thought I had already chosen that, but I guess I didn't. So I think there's slightly different dialogue now, so I'm turning back to novel mode. Alright.
Supposedly, she was special.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Well, supposedly, she was really pretty.
This is all
Pretty?
familiar.
Yes,
But she was a...
that's right. She wasn't all shriveled.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, I get it. Okay, it's that thing. The fat in it turns into something.
Okay, I don't know why it did that then. Alright, that was weird. Alright, I'll be back then again. Okay, I'm back at this choice. I guess I'll choose a different option this time. I'll choose butterfly. I don't
It's
think I'll change
butterfly.
it. What? Why did you say it like that?
Cho butterfly you sofa.
What?
This is the head, and this is the nose and the mouth.
Wait, what? What's a Cho you sofa?
Wait, what? You mean you don't know? He's a former pro wrestler and a huge movie star. He was just in this movie called Man Bag. Oh, man, it was so sweet.
What is happening?
He was all like, nom 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 nom, throwing the bag around like a big mouth. Oh, and then like guns and gadgets and stuff would just fly out of it. Damn, just thinking about it gives me chills.
Okay, well, I'm glad I'm experimenting with these options because this is actually pretty funny.
You're just screwing with me, aren't you, Junpei? Forget it. I'm just gonna tell you.
Alright,
This is a dog.
okay.
See?
Can I skip now? Yes. Alright. Well, I'll catch you later. I'm almost done with this cabin. On to, I think, number 7 next. Yep. Alright, bye for now. Okay. I chose, yes, I have heard about the story that the Titanic's sinking was predicted this time. And I forgot to start recording before this, but you didn't miss much. It's just these little 2 lines.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. The title of the novel is Futility.
Okay, nothing happened.
It was written 14 years before the Titanic sank, but
I know. I mean, I didn't know the name of the book, but the story was the same, right? It was just like what happened on the Titanic?
yeah,
Well, I heard it was all a hoax.
a hoax.
I heard that the stuff that matched up to the Titanic so well was actually added after it sank. Apparently, the only thing that was the same originally was that a boat ran into an iceberg and sank.
But the novel was published in 1898, 14 years before the accident.
Like I said, that was the first print of the book. 14 years later, the author heard about what happened to the Titanic. He figured that was his chance, you know? He just went back and changed some stuff in his novel so that it matched the Titanic exactly.
Okay, surprised by Junpei's response, June seemed rather taken aback.
Really?
Really? There's no such thing as premonitions or any of that stuff.
It was just funny because I was talking about how he believed in curses earlier. For a moment, June looked very unhappy, more so than Junpei thought was normal for such a discussion. But it lasted only a moment. With no apparent reason, she suddenly looked up at him and alarmed.
But that wasn't the only book that predicted the Titanic sinking.
It wasn't?
Yep. There were 2 other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead.
Okay, well that's it for
But
that.
Jumpy-
Oh, never mind.
You said you believe in curses.
Come on, that's totally different. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still could.
Okay, well, I think that's it now. I'll wait a couple more seconds. Okay, never mind. Well, I'll see you in a second. Alright, so we're back here in room 7. I just finished the puzzle with the chemicals. I just remembered the password for that, so I didn't even read anything in here. And it stopped here. And I guess because we heard that story about, I think it was glycerin before, now we know what 7 is talking about.
Transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Junpei looked up at 7 with half a smirk. 7 stared at him, dumbfounded.
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
Junpei told 7 the story he'd heard from June in the freezer in the kitchen. That's a heck of a sentence. How one day glycerin began to crystallize, and the story of ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. When Junpei was done, 7 looked thoughtful and absent-mindedly rubbed the scar on his chin.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
7 squinted. His eyes stared off into space as if he were trying desperately to focus on something far away.
Do you?
Know something about Ice 9?
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice. Ice. Ice.
Suddenly, 7's eyes shot open.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Alice as in Alice with 2 L's? That happens to be on a red book with hieroglyphics in it?
Come on. The woman who won't melt at room temperature.
What?
Huh?
It became clear to 7 that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right?
I've never heard of that in my life.
It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett.
I don't know what that is either.
The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident.
I like how these people just have hyper-specific knowledge about the Titanic.
It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank. One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled.
So this reminded me, actually, of, I was thinking about the coffin in the last ending I got where I got stabbed with a knife. It showed, like, pounding on a coffin, like there was someone in there. And I was thinking of who that could possibly be. And I was thinking, like, it had said Clover disappeared, and that might be an option, but it also might be Snake, because I'm still not all, convinced he's not dead yet. Like, I'm pretty sure he might be alive, somewhat. Maybe.
It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood. No nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight.
That's interesting. So was it, like, made around the body?
The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid.
Okay.
Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible, but there was one body that didn't thaw, and that was...
The girl in the coffin!
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually.
What?
Then weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month passed, and another. It was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice.
That's crazy.
Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared.
What?
One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't.
That's crazy
They
talk.
say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body.
I mean, people, not to talk trash on museums, but people have been doing that for a long time. I mean, she was in a museum, wasn't she, before? And someone else took her from a museum. But, like, is that really as, like, any worse than, you know, the people who took them to the museum to begin with? Just some food for thought. Like, don't get me wrong, I do really like museums, like, as a whole, but you have to admit that there are some things that should not have been taken that are put into those things.
With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. After a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
Junpei gulped.
Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Seven nodded slowly and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world.
Wow, this is like, Investigations 2. No? Yes.
I've heard that Alice
If you've
won
played
up
that
for
game, you'll know what I
auction.
mean.
The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain.
Oh my god, this Cordain guy again?
You've heard that name before, right?
Yeah.
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic sister ship.
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
Weird.
What do you mean?
Honestly, isn't it really weird to me that they're selling a dead woman's body on a black market? Like, there could not be, like, normal people trying to buy this.
Gordain bought Alice in 1912, and 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic, but nobody knows where. He died in 1931, and apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden.
However, what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
Well, that is the most pretentious and convoluted answer I've ever heard. Like, if you're gonna tell him, why not just tell him straight?
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Seven threw his hands up in defeat.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it.
So, could this be the coffin that I saw in the last ending? Or, there was also the coffin in the cargo hold. I think, like, in the pictures, I, like, vaguely recognized it, I feel like, but I couldn't tell which was which. Maybe both the coffins looked the same. But if she is indeed in the one in that little weird chamber with the 9 doors, that's a disturbing implication.
She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Before Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim, as Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey! What are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here!
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez!
Seven looked at Junpei.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
Okay, if that wasn't the most obvious hint I've ever seen. Oh, poopy. I'm not sure if I did this right. Okay. I'll check again after the scene, and we will see, I suppose.
Alice. Huh.
Because I cheated and skipped on the flowchart. Junpei was left to ponder what he just heard. He tried to remember what June had told him earlier.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic, even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Then was
Yes.
that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice 9?
What even are these
No,
questions right
it's
now?
nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to clear it, and followed Seven to the operating room where Clover was waiting. Alright, well that was weird. Alright, I'll see you later. I might have to redo this room again if it says I don't have the right thing. Okay, bye for now. Okay, well, it froze here. Junpei, what do you want to do? What? Oh, the bookmark? Okay, I think this is what I have to do.
Oh,
If that matters, I'm going straight for, the bad ending anyway, because I have to clear another ending, I think, to get the true end. So, at least that's what my flowchart says. He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given earlier.
It's in my pocket somewhere. Here it is.
He reached into his pocket and dug it out.
A 4-leaf clover.
Santa had given it to him in the second classroom. He held it out to Clover.
Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck. That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for.
Aww.
Take it. Use it as a good luck charm.
He pressed the 4-leaf clover into her hand.
Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck. Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead. He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
Clover stared at the 4-leaf clover in her hand. You could see tears start to form at the corners of her eyes.
Thank you.
Aww. Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with the baggy arms of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Her tears made small, wet circles on the floor.
Thank you.
Aww. She said it again. Then she looked up at Junpei and seemed to choke down the last of her grief. Yeah, when you're, like, going through something like that, it really is just, like, a small thing can make you feel way better. She did her best to smile. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage.
Come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
But still, she didn't move.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
Oh, right. For a moment, his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him aside from the dictionary definition.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then.
Oh,
I mean, that you knew about the 4-leaf clover.
that's interesting. I'll have to ponder that as I'm skipping through all this text.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
Clover looked away. The 4-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment and then finally spoke.
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Of course you can.
Clover slipped the 4-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Oh my god, was my weird theory right? That she and, Snake were on the ship as one of the, like, children that were kidnapped?
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best, he thought, to save them until Clover had finished.
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Fields that you can't see?
He'd heard something like this before. Clover nodded.
Like, think about this.
She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right? But is he really John?
Huh?
All Junpei could think was she has finally completely lost it.
Isn't this like Locke's socks?
What?
Or the ship of Theseus?
Okay, I know the ship of Theseus, but what is Locke's socks? Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
I've heard of
No?
one. Junpei shook his head. So, the ship of Theseus is basically just like, so you have a ship, right? And it's how much of the ship you need to replace until it's not the same ship anymore. Like, what is the limit to when it's considered a different ship entirely? Like, the more you replace of it, basically.
Okay,
Clover laughed.
well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works.
Okay. What?
Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it.
Okay.
What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
I don't really like socks. What? Throw it away? If it was my favorite pair of socks? Well, I don't know how to patch it up. I would probably get a new pair. I don't know. Throw it away, I guess?
Well, I'd pitch it, I guess.
But it's your favorite pair of socks.
Come on, who loves their socks that much?
It doesn't matter. Just suppose you do love them that much.
Okay.
Well, I guess then I'd patch it.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch, I suppose.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches until eventually the original cloth of the sock is totally gone.
Oh my
Once you
god.
get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
I mean, those socks look really cool. They'd probably be super uncomfortable though. That's why I hate socks so much. I just hate like the feeling of fabric on my feet. That's why I always wear Crocs.
Well, that's tough.
Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the lock socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus? The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
It was an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued.
Hey,
Someone's probably
do
wondering
you
what
think it's
happened
the
to us.
same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John? Or is it Lucy now?
Junpei looked at the operating table again. A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It was just like Locke's socks in the ship of Theseus. The part of the body that holds a person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any of a number of internal organs. And here they had both.
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Was that mannequin really John?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
The silence is broken by Seven. Yeah, I was wondering if he'd ever come see what the heck was going on.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Well, I'm glad at least Clover got to talk about something she liked. It made me happy. Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't. We were just
Just...
playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
She's like the worst liar ever. It's really funny. Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed toward the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused expression. Also, never mind. It's just a tiny little thing I noticed. I'll talk about it again if I see Clover on screen.
Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
Man, get out of here.
You're a dick.
Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key.
Alright, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, alright?
Fine then.
He slipped the key into the keyhole and turned it. Is that it? Alright, that's it. See ya whenever something else happens, I guess. Well, I'm already here. I'm already at something new. I paused for like 1 second. They left the operating room. The hallway took them around several corners and past several doors, but they're all locked.
There too, huh? Every door in this place is locked up tight.
How about that one?
Okay, that was really weird. Now it's going again. Alright, see ya whenever something new happens. Again. Okay, I'm going to choose There's Not a Problem now.
Well, not a problem, but... That's a lie. I wanted to get rid of Ace. I sent him to the wheelhouse at the beginning for a reason. I wanted to talk to Clover alone. There's something I want to ask her, and I don't want anyone to overhear us. I'm pretty sure Clover won't talk if there's anyone else around. I'm a little desperate to send him back. Quick. He has to leave.
Ace opened his mouth and took another look at Junpei and shut it again. A small smirk appeared on his face.
Oh, I see. Of course.
What the heck? He looked Junpei over, then glanced at Clover.
I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck.
Bruh. Ace gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and left. Ah. Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution.
What was that about?
She was clearly suspicious and with good reason.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Junpei's eyes widened and he held up his hands in a gesture of innocence.
No, it's not like that.
What's it like then?
I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now.
What story?
What?
About the experiment, remember? The one you started to tell me in the operating room? You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago.
Clover bit her lip. She stared down at the floor for several long moments, and when she spoke, it was barely audible.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, it must be hard, because this is after she found out about her brother.
I'm just not in the mood, okay?
I can understand that, sweetie.
You
It's okay.
understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother.
I know, darling. I'm sorry.
I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that to my brother?
I mean, I have my ideas, but, you know, maybe it's good to think about something else, because as I've seen, the more you think about it, the more it eats you alive, it seems. With what happened in the one ending that we shall not be talking about now.
I can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're gonna pay for it. I promise.
No.
So...
Her shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung up on her lips where she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked at Junpei, her eyes fierce and angry.
Junpei, who do you think did it?
Oh crap. Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped.
Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people.
You're right. So, what does that mean?
Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out. Who could have opened door 3 with Snake?
This is not good.
Well, really, who and who, or who and who?
You mean it could have been 4 people?
Well, technically, it's possible.
I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely.
Why?
I'll tell you later. Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now?
Okay, interesting. Oh, yeah, the thing I was going to mention about Clover earlier is it's actually a bit, like, you can kind of see it on the other characters, but the line art on their sprites, you can kind of see, like, the outer edges. It's like, I don't know if anyone will understand what I mean, but, like, when you use the magic wand tool to select and then invert the selection and then color in the selection, and then on the outside of the liner, there's still that like fuzzy barrier from where you colored it. That's kind of what it looks like. It's really obvious on parts of her hair, but you can see it on like her jacket too, especially against this background. And I've noticed it on other characters as I was going through this. That's all it is. It's literally nothing important.
Okay, got it. Let's do that then.
Then who do you think it could be?
Junpei crossed his arms up thought. Snake's bracelet number was 2. Which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2 would give a digital root of 3? My theory is none of the above. And it doesn't show, June and Clover, so that's not it. And clearly the answer they want me to do is Santa and Seven, but my theory is that it was Ace and who took the bracelet of the 9th guy, to do it.
Would it be Santa and Seven? The digital root for Snake, Santa, and Seven is...
I really don't think it's them, though. Because, from what I know about Seven from his backstory, he doesn't really seem like the type of guy who'd do something. Like, he's kind of a freak, but, like, whatever. He still seems like a decent guy, and Snake has, not Snake. Santa has his own sister, so he'd know how that would feel. 'Cause he lost her, too. So I really don't think it's them.
3! Wait, hold on. Are Santa and Seven the killers?
I don't think so.
What's wrong?
Clover looked at Junpei, and he looked back at her. There's no point in hiding it.
Well, I thought about it, and...
He told her his conclusions.
That's what I thought.
She looked less surprised than he'd expected.
Santa and Seven. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works.
Hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? Well, all I said is that those 2 would have been able to open door 3 with your brother. There might be other possibilities.
Well,
Yes.
what other possibility?
He didn't have an answer. But I have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover
Are
spoke.
you saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people?
No, I think it was perhaps 1 person.
I really don't think that's likely.
Why not?
Can I borrow your pen and paper?
Clover put her hand out expectantly.
Yeah, here.
Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened the notebook and wrote down several simple addition problems. Wow, you're smarter than I am. Eventually she had 8, which provided a digital root of 3. Okay. I'm looking at these real quick. So, noticeably, I do not see my theory here. So, let me look. It says to be 1, 3, and 6. Not really sure about that. Because that would mean, yeah, 1, 4, and 5, no way. 4, 7, and 8. Or 7, 8. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no. No. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna just listen to her explanation, actually. Because I don't want to be staring at math all night.
What's this?
These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people. These 8 combinations are the only possible ones.
Oh, I see.
Junpei,
Yeah?
I can trust you, right?
Of course. Why would you need to ask that?
Really?
Yeah,
So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right?
of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too. The ones with 4.
So, what does that leave?
A and E.
Alright.
Wait, it can't be A.
Why?
Because June's in that one. There's no way in hell she'd do something like that.
Are you sure?
I bet my life on it.
Okay then. I can cross off A too, right?
Yeah,
Well, what have we got left?
E.
And either way, it would still include Snake and Santa.
Do you know what this means?
Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together.
Do you think that's likely? If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious. I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right?
Well, you do have a point.
And besides, if Ace and Seven are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them. But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were killers, why wouldn't they?
Her voice was calm, but Junpei had only to look her in the eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears rolling at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she had been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his heart tighten.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I understand now. It seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
Then that means there's a good chance it was Santa and Seven.
that's how it looks.
But why would they do it?
There was a moment of silence. I'm just imagining Ace on the other side of the door listening and like rubbing his grubby hands together, being like, ha ha ha, no one suspects a thing.
Their motive.
He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was close, so close to the answer. Oh my god, was he right? Was he really just behind the door listening? When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke.
Have I interrupted something?
What is it?
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
Oh. Okay. He turned on his heel and walked back toward the wheelhouse.
Go ahead.
Okay, be careful, darling.
Okay.
Junpei looked over at Clover. At least, he introduced, like, the idea of a motive, I think. Let me look back at that. Well, if she's thinking about a motive and realizing they might not have one, then maybe she'll not do the crazy stuff she did in the other ending. Junpei looked over at Clover, gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace.
What did you want to talk about?
Ace looked at Junpei and smiled, perhaps more of a smirk than a
There
smile.
was something I wanted to check.
Oh, is he gonna
Yeah?
put his hand in my
If
pocket
you-
again? Okay.
Hey, what?
I'm just...
This is the same. Alright.
Justice. What exactly? You switched them. I managed to get...
Then,
Oh,
Okay, creepy. Alright, well that was the same as before. And now I was forced in here. I'm hoping I didn't miss anything in there. But we shall see. What's in here? No. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Stop! Okay, well, I will continue solving this room, and then I guess I'll be back when something happens. Which hopefully will be the ending. Because check this out. Yep, we are right on the cusp of amazing adventure. I do have to worry about this crap. But I can worry about that later. Alright, see you then. Alright, well, we're at new text. Sorry for the dead guy jump scare. This is just the screen it was on when I got the text stopped.
Huh?
Alright, Junpei said that even if this guy was one of us, it couldn't be Zero.
don't you get it? The letters that spell 0 on the TV screen, the captain's clothes he's got on, and of course, the bracelet with a 0 on it. It's too obvious. Look, this is 0 right here. This dead body is 0. Isn't that kind of fishy?
You're right. Only an idiot wouldn't see through something like that.
No, that's not the point. So I'm not trying to make fun of them for thinking a trick like this would work. I'm sure they didn't think it would work. Which makes me wonder.
Why did they do it? I don't know why he didn't
I
say
think
that.
this is a challenge. A challenge from the person who's really behind all of this. He's making fun of us. Don't you get it? If whoever killed this guy really wanted us to think this corpse was 0, they'd never have put a bracelet on him. Walking around with a 0 bracelet would be like hanging a sign around your neck that said, "I did it!" Anyone with a brain would be able to see that this guy is supposed to look like everything 0 is supposed to be. Just like we did. The killer must have known we wouldn't think he was 0 and put the bracelet on him anyway. Do you know why?
Why?
Like I said, he's mocking us. Too bad, suckers. This isn't 0.
where's the real me then? See if you can catch me.
It's the same bad joke a lot of criminals like to play. They'll just sit back and watch people run in circles.
That's really twisted. But it almost seems kind of childish.
Yeah, you're right. It's really childish. It's like it's just a game to whoever this person is. That's what seems funny to me.
Junpei bent down next to the corpse.
Alright, let's get back to the point. Who killed this man?
I don't know.
And what's this guy's deal? Who is he?
How would I know that? If I knew anything, I would have told you.
You have no idea who he is.
Why would I?
Junpei sat back on his haunches and thought.
We should check and see if he's got anything on him that might tell us who he is. Give me a hand here, Clover.
Uh-oh.
We gotta flip him over. How else are we gonna search his pockets?
Clover didn't move.
Okay, fine. Guess I'll do it.
Junpei had no choice but to move the body on his own.
Here we go.
He grabbed hold of an area not completely covered in blood and shoved. It took a moment, but eventually Junpei felt the man's bulk begin to shift. Just as it did,
Huh?
something fell from the man's left wrist.
Hey, it's the...
A bracelet with 0 on the face. Okay, yes, I know.
Oh god.
Junpei stared at the bracelet.
This man... He's dead, isn't he?
Is this how, he's gonna connect the dots?
No, it's just... I guess I didn't really think about it until right now. If his bracelet's off, that means he's dead.
Well, it's pretty obvious that he's dead. You don't really need to look at his bracelet to figure out that he's dead.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It is pretty obvious. Well, he looks a lot better than the other bodies we've seen, though. You know? I mean, if there wasn't all this blood, he'd almost look like he was still alive. I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but he kinda has it better, you know? Dying from a bomb going off inside of you, I mean, that's just... Some of Snake's bones went right through his skin. I think the explosion must have thrown him against a wall or something.
Is this really a good person to be talking about this with?
There was a broken bone just sticking out of his left arm.
Don't remind
And...
her. Suddenly, Junpei realized what he was saying. How could he have been so cruel? Yeah, he clapped his hand over his mouth. But it was already too late. He turned to look at Clover. She was glaring at him furiously.
What did you just say?
Her words sounded cold. He knew an apology could hardly atone for what he'd done, but he tried anyway.
Oh man, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean...
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What did you say about his arm?
Oh my god, is this finally gonna become relevant? The way I said that they wouldn't have mentioned the arm thing? My weird theory about chopping off the arm? My theory that's, like, not true, because it looks like the bracelet just pops right off, but... If it is relevant, like, what is it? Tell me, girl.
Arm?
Yes, his left arm. You said it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but... I mean, didn't you see it too?
Of course not. I could barely look at him.
Oh, darling.
There's no way I was gonna see the details.
Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry. Clover took a quick, deep breath.
Are you sure it was his left arm?
Junpei thought back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And he had a broken bone, right?
What the hell are you getting at here?
Just shut up and answer me!
She shoved her face closer to his. He could see the fire in her eyes. Junpei winced and swallowed.
Yeah, he did. It was pretty bad, too. The bone was sticking out of the arm.
No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Clover's expression changed.
Clover? What's wrong? Look, I'm sorry if I said anything.
Suddenly she was crying. Junpei wasn't sure what to do.
Thank you.
Oh, did she realize it wasn't him? Was there something weird with his arm? It was close to the last thing he had expected to hear.
Huh? What are you...
Junpei had no idea what had just happened. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of thanks, and he couldn't understand why she would have chosen that moment to begin crying. So he simply stood there, confused.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She thanked him again, and then something even stranger happened. Aww. Clover threw herself into Junpei's surprised arms.
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy!
Why?
The body in the shower room, it isn't his! It isn't my brother!
Huh?
It's not Snake!
Why on earth would you think that?
Because his left arm is...
She stopped
I'm
herself.
sorry. I really shouldn't be talking about this.
Is it like, is it like a prosthetic arm or something? And that's why there couldn't be a bone? Junpei decided it would be prudent not to press her for any more information. If she did not wish to tell him, she certainly had a reason for doing so. Perhaps more importantly, however, if Clover was so certain that she was likely right, that meant that the body in the shower room wasn't Snake. It wasn't much, but that knowledge lifted some of the weight from Junpei's heart.
But he's still alive. I'm so happy.
Tears shone in her eyes. Those tears melted Junpei's heart. As she cried, she had pushed herself up against his chest like a child. Junpei put his arms around her and held her tight.
I'm so glad!
Huh?
Junpei, you were right!
Huh?
No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That's...
It was a laminated bookmark with the 4-leaf clover.
I only made it here because you gave me this. I was suspicious of everybody, and I was angry and miserable. But because I had this 4-leaf clover, because of what you said to me,
Yeah.
Junpei hadn't thought his words would have had such an effect on her. Her words were making him feel a little awkward.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She looked up at him. He scratched his nose and pretended to notice something interesting somewhere else in the room.
Oh, if you really want to thank somebody, you should be thanking Santa.
Santa? Why?
Well, he was the one who gave me that thing. And the words for each leaf, I got that from him too.
Oh.
Then suddenly, Clover broke away from Junpei.
Huh?
He looked confused. He hadn't thought she'd react that poorly. Clover began to pace across the room. 6 steps to the left, 6 steps to the right, another 6 to the left, and then she stopped.
Did Santa really tell you those things?
Her eyes were serious, but not angry.
Yeah, he did. Did I, say something wrong?
Oh no, not at all. In fact, this could be really good news, I think.
You think?
Santa knew about the words and the clover. The only people who should know about that are the other subjects.
Subjects?
The other people who were in the experiment 9 years ago, with my brother and me.
Oh my god, one of my theories turned out to be right. Well, at least I get one small win. Actually 2, considering that Snake's body turned out to not be his. Oh my god, I feel like a genius right now. Which is crazy, considering my many blunders that I've made in this series so far.
But he's blind, and I was part of the Nevada test group.
What?
So neither of us would be able to recognize the faces of the people who were on this boat.
Whoa. Okay, time out.
Junpei held up his hands. He took a deep breath and let it out.
Let's just calm down for a second, okay? Start from the top. Don't start with the end and then jump to the middle. You gotta start with 1 and then move to 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. If you don't tell me stuff in the right order, I'm never gonna be able to figure it out.
Okay.
Clover nodded.
Alright, let's start with this experiment. What happened on this boat 9 years ago?
Do you know about morphogenetic fields?
I do,
Morphogenetic
actually.
fields.
He did, and the realization sent chills down Junpei's spine.
All right. How about the
Yes.
theory of the...
I think
I just
Lotus
saw this
mentioned something like that.
Earlier. It was what she was talking about with the dog picture and stuff. Junpei recounted what Lotus had told him earlier. Clover nodded.
Telepathy, huh? Well, that's not really it, but I suppose it's similar.
Okay.
So they were testing telepathy on this ship?
Oops.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what exactly did they have you guys do?
The same thing that we're doing now. Exactly the same thing.
What? Really? That's crazy. Is that why Zero said some of this might be, like, familiar to some people?
The nonary game. 9 people were put on this boat, and 9 others were put in the building in Nevada, and the game started.
Junpei grabbed the sides of his head.
Look, I'm sorry, but I don't get it. What do the nonary game and some telepathy experiment have to do with each other? Am I missing something here?
Clover bit her lip. She blinked back sudden tears. What had happened to her in Nevada?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
What?
You know how sometimes when you're up against a really tough problem, and then the answer just kind of pops in your head?
Oh my god, yeah, I relate to that so much. Like, I experience that a lot with, like, games like this, actually. Like, usually I end up not trying to theorize in games, actually, because I do enjoy being surprised by obvious plot twists. This is an exception because, like, I'm doing commentary and I'm actively trying to think of it, but usually I just kind of let it go with the flow. I don't really, like, analyze anything. But sometimes, even though I'm not doing that, I'll just, like, suddenly have, like a realization out of nowhere. And it kind of bums me out actually, because I want to be surprised by a plot twist, but then suddenly I get like a divine revelation or something.
That's an epiphany. And what you learn from the epiphany can be transmitted with telepathy. When you add danger to that equation, then it gets easier to transmit that information over telepathy.
So
What?
you're saying the nonary game was supposed to introduce that element of danger?
Yeah, but it couldn't be just any old danger. It had to be life and death. And
What is it, darling?
someone did actually die. A girl.
Oh, I remember. I think Seven mentioned this when he was talking about this experiment.
Huh.
Junpei felt a sudden grip of despair on his heart. Something deep and distant and powerful squeezed, and for a moment he felt very, very empty and alone.
She was on the boat with my brother. I was in Nevada. I never met her, but I did hear her name. Her name was...
The sound of the door opening was like a gunshot. Well, it didn't really sound like that to me, but Junpei spun around.
Oh, my apologies. I seem to have disturbed you.
Ace.
You two must have strong stomachs. I can't imagine how you could stay in this room for so long.
Ace glanced down at the floor. At the corpse covered in blood.
At any rate, Junpei, would you be so kind as to come and help me with something? I'm having
scared.
a little trouble, and I could really use your assistance.
Okay.
Come on, it'll only take a moment.
With that, he turned and walked back towards the communications office. Clover waited until he was out of sight, then spoke in a small, quiet voice.
I don't want Ace to hear us. We can talk about this later.
Huh? Hey, wait!
Clover ignored him. From outside, Junpei could hear Ace calling.
Junpei, what are you doing in there? Hurry up!
Grumbling to himself, Junpei stormed off toward the communications office. Okay. Back to this crap. Okay, well, again, I'll be pausing. See you later. Okay, we found the file.
Alice, does this mean...
Junpei couldn't hold back. He had to know what was in that file. Each page was covered with strange characters. Okay, well, this is familiar. Anything new?
So it would seem.
Oh,
Bottom deck... library.
Junpei remembered something he'd heard from Seven when they'd been in the chemical closet. I don't remember that.
Seven said something like...
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge
Oh.
beneath the navel of the gigantic...
Forest of Knowledge. Is that the library?
Could beneath the navel mean the bottom deck? And the Forest of Knowledge is the library? Then could Alice be in a room somewhere beyond the library?
What's wrong? Something on your mind?
Junpei blinked. Only then did he notice Ace looking at him, curiosity and concern running across his face in equal parts.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Is that so? What about?
Well, don't laugh, okay?
There was no reason for Junpei to hide his thoughts. He began to explain his theory to Ace. Then he stopped. It wouldn't make any sense if Ace didn't know who Alice was supposed to be. So he told Ace everything June had told him.
The Egyptian priestess, an Ice 9. Interesting.
And the woman who wouldn't melt, who was recovered from the Titanic disaster, they called her All Ice, which eventually turned into Alice, and she was purchased by an English millionaire who called himself Lord Gordain. According to Seven, this ship is where he hid Alice.
And you think that he hid her in a small room, beyond the library on the bottom deck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a theory.
Ace stared off into the distance, his hands slowly and absent-mindedly stroking his beard. After a few moments, his hands stopped. He turned slowly to look at Junpei, and his brows drew together.
Junpei, have you ever heard of the term CAS?
No.
Cass.
It stands for Cells Alive System. It is an advanced technology for freezing and preserving organic matter. Put simply, it is a technique that allows one to freeze things without the formation of ice crystals. Normally, if you freeze something fresh, water within its cells expands as it crystallizes, damaging the cell membrane. CAS, however, works differently. The object to be frozen is supercooled using magnetic fields, and then frozen instantly and uniformly, giving ice crystals no time to form.
What the heck?
It was originally developed for the preservation of food, as an alternative to the normal freezing process. Now, however, there are rumors that it can be used for other things.
What do you mean, other things?
Well, there are obvious medical uses, but perhaps also space travel.
Space travel? Are you serious?
Surely you've heard of suspended animation. Cryogenic freezing? It's a fairly common idea in science fiction books and films. People are sometimes frozen for especially lengthy journeys through space.
That was when Junpei understood what Ace was suggesting.
Whoa, wait a minute there.
Ace looked at him and raised an eyebrow.
Are you saying that Alice was frozen using that cast thing?
Well, I'm sure the possibility is quite low, but it is a possibility. If this special ice you call Ice 9 does indeed exist, and casts were used to freeze her into that sort of ice instantaneously.
You think she could be alive?
Well, I can't say for sure, of course. I'm only talking about possibilities. The melting point for Ice 9 is 96 degrees, right? If she were put somewhere where she could reach that temperature...
That's nuts. Are you really saying she could have defrosted and started walking about?
You're quite right. It does sound unbelievable. But if she had, then we would have an explanation for the man we found dead on the floor.
You mean the guy dressed like a captain?
Yes. He was dead when we found him. Clearly, he was murdered. But if he was murdered, then by whom? It couldn't have been one of us. That would be impossible. In order to enter the captain's quarters, one must first open door 1. That door that requires the Earth key prevented us from accessing door 1. Who was it that opened that door?
Santa and Lotus.
Right. Clearly, the two of them could not have opened door 1, or any other door for that matter.
Sorry about that weird noise. I just noticed there was not a space between the period and the word clearly.
Who else then could have done so?
Junpei thought for a second.
Nobody. After Santa and Lotus used the Earth key, they turned back and met up with me and June. Then we returned to the large hospital room and found Ace, Seven, and Clover. While we'd gone into the shower room, Ace, Seven, and Clover had stayed behind.
This is really interesting to me because I am recalling now something. They have showed this several times, how it says that one of the ways the bracelet can come off if your heartbeat reaches 0. And I'm wondering, if you were frozen like this, does that mean your heartbeat would, like, reach 0? And that could be a way to get the bracelet and still be alive?
But it's impossible for those three to open door 1.
Would we be able to, is the implication that this captain guy might be alive? And that if we somehow heat him up really hot, he can come back to life? I'm so confused.
But what about when June and I took the elevator to door 2? No, still won't work. We were only gone 5 minutes. No human being could have run to the captain's quarters, killed that guy in there, and run back that fast.
It would be impossible for any of us to be the murderer. That being the case, who could have killed him? Wouldn't it make sense if his killer was someone who had been in the ship for some time? A person like that would know the ship well. They would know the locations of all the hidden passages and secret doors. The numbered door would mean nothing to someone like that. It would be a simple thing for them to enter the captain's quarters.
Then you're saying the killer was Alice?
What? Okay. Well, this was completely off track of what I was thinking of. Ace drew his thumb across his lips thoughtfully. I mean, never mind, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Obviously that guy had like a big axe wound in him, didn't he? Oh dear.
Well, this is all only one possible theory.
All ice. Alice. Is she really somewhere on the ship?
Junpei had only one clue. The key card in his
Maybe
hand.
this card will give me access to the Forest of Knowledge and the big mystery. What could be there beyond the Forest of Knowledge? Anyway, whatever. It's gonna have to wait. I can't do anything right now. I'll come back to this later.
He gripped the key card tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket. Okay, more puzzle stuff. I'll be finished soon. I'm trying to get at least one ending tonight. It's taking way longer than expected. Woo! Alright, see you then. Okay, well, we got to the weird suspicious scene after we exited the captain's quarters, where Clover's like, she has stuff in her pocket, and then Junpei asked her. And I think usually she said, I wonder, or something weird like that, but this time she said a note.
A note?
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes. It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What now?
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Junpei, Clover!
Oh.
What are you two doing? Hurry up!
He's getting mad.
Clover
I'll
shrugged.
show it to you later, all right? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. A note? Noticeably, he didn't mention a long wooden stick this time. Junpei was curious, but there was something else that... Never mind.
From the look of that pocket,
What?
it doesn't particularly look like just
Okay,
a
never mind, I
note.
was scared.
Jeez, what are you thinking? For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
Big stairs.
Okay, well, I didn't have to skip long, I didn't have to pause. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy! Clover!
Junpei's face was excited. Something had happened, that much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Okay. Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain
We
herself.
found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you
Yeah,
find?
the door?
The last door! We found door!
Yep.
Come on! Just follow us! We'll explain on the way.
Okay.
Seven turned and jogged off down the
Well,
stairs.
if that's the case.
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
Rest followed. And Clover didn't stop and be like, we should go. Oh, look, it's unlocked. Yes, I'm getting this really crappy ending. And that apparently is the exact same as the true ending, except it ends prematurely, but I've never wanted to take half measures.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what one of them
Yeah.
felt.
It's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably was.
We've reached the end.
Except not really. This is a fake out. Oh my god, the finale episode is gonna be so lame. Why did I do this? Man, I should have just taken the advice and done the other ending I still need to do and then done the true end. Because now the true ending is gonna feel like it's gonna be like barely anything. It's just gonna be the ending itself. Without any of this really cool build up. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people.
Well,
Is
I
there a
know.
way?
Yes. Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could.
Yeah.
Junpei followed. Okay. Next, going down. As a group, they piled onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to E-Deck. Looked familiar. There's a metal grate between the 2 elevators. Seven grabbed hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split off from you guys, the 4 of us got into the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. After that, we headed down another hallway. It took us toward the bow, and eventually to the number 6 that you two found earlier. We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it, like usual, but this time we had to complete 2 different areas before we... Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that went the other direction, toward the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
That's right.
So, in other words, you kinda did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
With that settled, Junpei looked around.
So, where's the number 9 door?
Over here. Follow me.
Seven began walking down the hallway that led toward the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with him.
By the way,
They had been walking for a while, June in a silent step with Junpei when she spoke.
you know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Huh?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
What?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus, what's their digital route?
9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they'd wanted to.
But they didn't.
Yes, Because Santa wouldn't let them.
Robbie.
He said, we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you.
Oh crap. You know what I just realized? This is just like a thought out of nowhere. In the last route, Santa was talking about how his little sister wasn't here anymore, and then earlier in this one, it was established that Santa was probably in this experiment, and that in this experiment, a girl died. Could it have been his sister who died in the experiment? Oh my god, it must be so hard for him to be here again. Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Perhaps June sensed Junpei's concern.
I don't mean that Seven and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first.
Is that so?
Junpei was about to respond when Seven suddenly stopped.
We're here.
In front of them stood a door.
So, is this...
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see Seven's face, but he could see him nod.
There's no other place for us to go.
Nope. Just look around. There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway. The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates.
I see.
It looked as though Seven was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
All right, let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed.
Oh,
It appeared they'd been telling the truth.
No way.
The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it.
the 9 door.
It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish.
We're finally here.
Junpei grabbed the handle and what the? It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant.
No doubt about it. This is door 9. Oh, finally! This is the last.
Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of complete silence.
Junpei, look behind you.
He turned around.
Behind? What?
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw.
Why? A door and a 9.
Yep, the
There's
second
another
one. And a very conspicuous coffin right next to it.
Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
His words came slowly, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room. There was no mistaking the number, and if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall next to the door.
There's a red there too. That means... And of course it won't open.
He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real.
Why? Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
Lotus was skeptical.
I don't know about that. It seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then, that means...
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Junpei began to mutter to himself.
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right?
That's not gonna work.
Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand.
You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them?
Yeah, here.
Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her. Hold on, let me look. Is there a way we can make,
Look at this.
Alright. Wow, she's good at math. She opened the Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers.
You get it? The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit.
We need Snake. So many 16s. We need Snake in here. Where is he?
There's only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So...
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind. Right?
yeah.
Clover nodded, almost as if she was pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
No way.
The room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank.
Come to think of it,
Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around
what
him.
is this room?
The walls were covered with candles. Wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as if they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony, but what kind?
Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet,
Is that an altar?
there was a recessed space set into the wall between the 2 other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. Coffin.
A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be.
But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? My theory is Snake. That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being. 'Cause firstly, it doesn't even look like the one in the flashback, and there's pounding in it in the last ending. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay, I give up. I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer. But I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
What are you talking about?
Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one.
What? You guys didn't figure it out yet? Fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong. She just... screw it! Let me just write it out.
Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
Wait, this means...
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
I'll stay behind.
I don't want to...
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot?
Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered.
No, I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna have to owe you for getting out of here.
The rest of them began to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
I don't like that idea. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven.
Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's gotta be a better way than this.
Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven eyes. Oh. That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable.
Are you... agreeing? You want to leave him here?
Santa shook his head.
I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
Aw, are you... Aw.
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver.
What the hell are you...
What? You don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more. 3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people. That's my proposal. No, those are my orders.
What?
What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
What?
3, 2, 1.
Santa was so fast, Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun in. What the? Oh my god. Yeah, that freak coffin gun thing. Yeah, June.
See? I told you.
His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile.
Huh? What?
A shiver traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze, and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa suddenly changed in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, a revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver roughly against her temple.
Why? What the hell is that?
Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke, almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion.
The gun's from the other room.
What room?
One of the rooms behind door 6.
Yeah, the evil, evil, evil room of evil.
I should have known he was gonna do this. I should have taken the gun.
Well, it's too late now, fat ass.
Damn it.
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lip twitched into a slightly wider smile. And then the smile faded, and he began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly, and then forced June to do the same. Wow.
Now, time for you to start following my orders.
Wow. Isn't this, very reminiscent of very familiar scene earlier in the game?
Ace, Lotus, congratulations! I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hands in the red.
That was what Santa had meant when he said he needed 2 more.
Hey, you deaf? I gave you an order.
Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. Why is he doing this, though? Why? They stayed frozen like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right. Fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched, and the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
He really shot it? But why? Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends.
This is messed up.
What?
You knew about the leaf words and the 4-leaf clover.
Santa's cheek twitched, almost imperceptibly.
What the hell is that shit? I've got no idea.
You're lying.
Shut up! Just shut up! You stupid bitch! You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head?
Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth, his face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small.
Santa.
He snorted, then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
Alright, assholes. What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan those bracelets. I don't have all day. Oh, what's the matter? Your hearing's starting to go? Going senile, maybe?
Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild, and her chest heaved with every quick breath like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate.
That's it.
June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive, along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to
It's
do.
the only way.
He turned to Ace and Lotus.
Please, go.
Huh?
No way.
Jumpy, what are you saying? If you stay here, you're going to be stuck, Jumpy. And so will Clover and Seven.
I know, but you don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out.
Alright, let me quickly... Hold on. Oops, every button but the one I have. Alright. Wow, isn't that interesting?
Right, Seven?
Right. You just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of.
No, no! You can't! Ace, Lotus, don't come over! Don't worry about me! Please!
June was almost crying. Jimpy walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders
Please.
and pushed them toward the door. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step, and another. They turned around and Jimpy nodded.
All right.
Fine.
Ace and Lotus turned around again and walked slowly toward the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
All right, now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the holdup? What? You think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The reg doesn't need a person, you know? All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not gonna say it again.
He shoved the revolver harder against June's head and she winced.
Fine.
Ace sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand onto the scanner panel. The 4 asterisks blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. As soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid, and you know what happens, right?
Damn it.
Jimpy could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind. Oh crap, I did not mean to skip that. The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble. A drum roll to welcome the chosen few.
Good. Go.
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well.
Later.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and 7 had been left behind. Clover looked down at her hand and traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. I do that sometimes. 7 shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Jimpy walked to the larger of the 2 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. It read engaged. He moved to the smaller door. The red read vacant. The digital root of the remaining people was 7. There was no possible way for them to open a door with 9 on it. Alone. That is. Junpei touched the surface of the door.
June.
He thought about June, about Akane Kurishiki. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she had escaped this horrible boat. That was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do?
7 opened his mouth to respond when... Oh my god. A noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something, vigorously. It wasn't mechanical. It was certainly human. Junpei and 7 looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh, quiet!
Clover motioned to 7 to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. The 3 of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from.
Where is it coming from? Could it be?
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
You're right!
Let's open it.
But how?
What are those muscles for show?
You're telling me to force it open?
Just shut up and try!
Junpei and 7 grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find, and pulled with all their strength. Are you not seeing the obvious keypad on it? We're gonna have to solve some sort of puzzle to open this.
Man, it won't even budge.
There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Your eyes were almost immediately drawn
Got
to it.
another one?
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password or it won't open?
I think so.
We hear you, darling. The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder.
Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out. And now.
Yeah, if it's really sealed shut, there's very limited air in there, probably. And if it is Snake, he's probably been in there for some time. Oh dear.
I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do.
They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Clover ran to examine the pews and someone investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
There's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged in that room.
What's the passcode? What am I supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, what? What? What is happening right now? Now it is time. Let her. What is happening? What was. Okay, sure. I'll save. Man, that's wild. What the heck? Okay, well. Great. I enjoyed that very much. So from what I am surmising, I believe I need to get this last ending over here before I can get the true ending on this route. So it took me way longer than expected to get to this point. So I don't know when I'll record next because admittedly I have some very difficult things to deal with tomorrow. It might be difficult. I mean, like emotionally. So it really depends on how it goes. But thankfully I've recorded like a million videos in advance. So even if I need to take a long break, if the worst happens, then I can do so. But man, I just feel I have some hope that the 2 remaining endings will give me some joy to look forward to. At least one of them. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this episode was all over the place. I haven't even checked how long I've been recording at all. It's all been one giant chunk of video, and I've been doing this for like 2 hours, it feels like. So, yeah, I guess I'll see how long it is when I stop it. But yeah, I hope to see you in the next one, and then the one after that, which will be our finale. Goodbye for now.